study says about how they could be harming you. A detailed report coming in from the Central African Republic, where a gold mine collapse has left around 100 people dead. All this and a lot more coming up. Will the Mecca Pact force Pakistan to go to war against the Houthis? That's the crucial question hanging in the air, and we are decoding this for you bit by bit. There are several layers. Let's just peel them off one by one. Starting off with what's actually happening behind the scenes. A major plan is in the works, one that could completely shift the dynamics in West Asia and beyond, and drag the region deeper into despair with far-reaching ripple effects. A Yemeni minister has issued a major warning about what could lie ahead. He has reportedly warned that the country's Houthi rebels are plotting to seize land along the Bab Al-Mandeb Strait, which would basically allow them to further strengthen and further threaten the vital shipping artery. And this is according to an AFP report. Let's just tell you more about what the report says. According to it, 3 Houthi military sources and a spokesman for the Yemeni government forces battling them near the waterway, telling AFP that the rebels are planning to advance south from their current territory. Let's just lay out the geography for you here, bit by bit. In fact, according to that report, the Houthis are working to create conditions for seizing control of this strait by basically expanding presence along the western coast. There we have it. That's the area we're talking about, and attempting to also control the strategic Yemeni islands in the Red Sea. In fact, let's also tell you how, according to that report, the plans as illustrated, repeated targeting of ports, docks, civilian infrastructure, ships, government naval capabilities. And as the report also outlines, the Houthis currently do not control coastal areas directly on the strait, but they do hold the key port city of Hodeidah to the north, and have repeatedly, remember, attacked ships in the Red Sea as well. With Iran's closure of the Strait of Hormuz, this new waterway at stake, and it has gained increasing importance as a crucial transit route for Saudi oil. In fact, we've been telling you about these attacks that have been undertaken by the Houthis. They have also started targeting Yemen's port city of Mocha, which basically lies close to the Bab Al-Mandeb, as well as military sites near the strait and government-controlled islands in the Red Sea as well. So if the rebels are trying to secure a foothold in Bab Al-Mandeb, the continued attacks on Mocha and its port, the Houthi militia basically seeking to establish a presence along the shores of the Bab Al-Mandeb Strait and transform the area basically into what could be a situation looking like that of the Strait of Hormuz. That's what the plan is, according to the Yemeni minister, also talking about how there are around 2,000 fighters that have been deployed to the front lines along Yemen's western coast in the provinces of Taiz as well as Hodeidah. That's where Taiz is, marked for you on the map. Let's tell you more about what could be brewing behind the scenes. Let's just also explain the context first. Yemen, remember, last month became the latest front to open in the West Asia war that broke out on the 28th of February with US military strikes on Iran. The Houthi attacks and their attempt to blockade Saudi Arabia's Red Sea ports came after tit-for-tat strikes in early July, following the arrival of that Iranian plane in the Yemeni capital. Yemen, remember, has been embroiled in more than a decade of war, and the latest fighting upended that truce with the Saudi-backed internationally recognized government as well. Let me also point out here, these details that the report mentions carry implications for the entire world. If such an attack is successful, it could basically cement Houthi control over one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. Remember, this is the strait that we are talking about, which basically connects these two arteries that we are going to be laying out for you. That's where the Bab Al-Mandeb is, that's the Strait of Hormuz. And this waterway, if it is under attack and under continuing stakes as well, the Iran-backed rebels, remember, have disrupted this with attacks on passing vessels since the war broke out in Gaza in 2023. It would also extend the hold of Tehran and its allies to a second vital waterway in the region, after Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz in its war with the United States. So greater Houthi control of this strait would basically threaten to choke off oil exports from Saudi Arabia, against which the rebels have announced that maritime blockade. And let's just tell you more about the backdrop. This is the latest in a string of extremely concerning developments, leaving the world watching on with bated breaths. And look at the larger picture and the key questions. Will the Mecca Pact then have to become operational in Yemen in such a scenario? Will Pakistan be forced to fight the Houthis? Will it open the Balochistan front then, if Iran starts a counteroffensive? The possibilities and the consequences could be lethal and far-reaching. You see, when Saudi Arabia, Pakistan and Turkey signed that joint defense agreement in Mecca, the Mecca Joint Defense Agreement, it was intended to strengthen collective deterrence against any act of aggression and stipulates that an armed attack against any one of the three would be regarded as an attack on all. Remember, cracks started showing soon after that pact was sealed? But then, given the warnings and the possibilities doing the rounds, it is important to highlight here how the trilateral framework could strengthen the three countries' collective diplomatic and defense weight as well, while contributing to the emergence of a more regionally driven security architecture. Although Pakistan agreed to that mutual defense pact with Saudi Arabia last year, it has not responded to Iran's attacks on the kingdom militarily. But with things escalating to this extent, will it now be forced to fight the Houthis? Remember, Iran is watching these developments very closely. In fact, Iran's Revolutionary Guards reportedly now warning that Saudi Arabia will not be able to contain the Tehran-backed Houthis in Yemen as the rebels ramp up those attacks on the kingdom. And what's Donald Trump up to? What's his strategy looking like right now? He wants to basically now resort to economic warfare against Iran. He has warned of economic consequences against any country that provided any type of lifeline to Iran. Iran seems to be laughing this off. The Iranian foreign minister called Trump's comments an attempt to divert American public opinion from domestic financial problems, including record debt and rising interest rates. And according to him, Washington's insistence on policies he described as failed would bring further failures and alienate the Iranians. As of now, West Asia is a tinderbox. All that it will take for a lethal explosion is just one trigger, sending the flames of uncertainty and chaos spreading far and wide. Shifting focus, Russian missile salvos pounding Kiev, leaving 16 dead and about 40 injured in a devastating blitz. Moscow, meanwhile, unleashing a brutal double offensive, hammering major parts while pushing deeper across the front lines. The next story now brings you the latest from Kiev and from the Ukrainian front lines, showing how advancing Russian ground forces and heavy airstrikes are forcing urgent Ukrainian evacuations.
The sky over Kyiv turned brutal in seconds. Sirens screamed, then came the impact. A deadly attack ripped through the city as Russian missiles struck with force and precision. Air defenses fired back, but the barrage kept coming. The Ukrainian Air Force says Russia's bombardment also included cruise missiles and fast-flying jet-powered drones that put further strain on air defenses. On the ground, for Ukrainians, it's a never-ending nightmare.
Дуже складно. Я знаходився.
It's really difficult. I was inside the building at the time, so to speak, and when it hit, well, I just don't even remember. I can't say anything. My car was parked there, but it was thrown over there and burned to the ground. It seemed like there were 2 strikes.
Стояв там, откинуло його туди, він згорів вщерть. А було похоже 2 прильоти.
Вибухи були страшні, і один все ближче.
The explosions were terrifying, getting closer and closer one after another. We weren't injured, but about 100 meters away, in the bathroom, the tiles fell. It was really scary.
Дуже було страшно.
This deadly attack comes as a fierce retaliatory wave following a series of Ukrainian long-range drone strikes aimed at military facilities deep inside Russian territory. Moscow has answered with overwhelming aerial firepower, coordinating massive missile barrages with an aggressive summer ground push designed to overwhelm Ukrainian frontline defenses. Russian commanders claim their forces have captured 19 settlements across southeastern regions. The dual pressure of continuous airstrikes and rapid territorial advances is putting immense strain on Ukrainian logistics and civil infrastructure. The crisis is escalating rapidly on the ground, facing heavy artillery barrages and incoming troops. Ukrainian authorities have issued urgent mandatory evacuation orders across the Dnipropetrovsk region. In the hard-hit Sunilnikova district, officials have ordered the immediate transfer of more than 2,000 children and their families from 16 vulnerable settlements. Ukrainian commanders are putting up a strong fight as frontline positions draw dangerously closer to major urban centers. On the other hand, depleted Patriot batteries mean that Ukraine is unable to protect its skies as Russia increases the intensity of attacks. Bureau Report, WION The World is One.
How beautiful that is, but
It's something that nobody has seen before, from speed to maneuverability to the payload. No existing jet in the world even comes close to it. These words of US President Donald Trump continue to resonate as anticipation continues to build around America's F-47 stealth fighter jet. And as the global arms race also heats up, Israel is now reportedly eyeing this very jet. First, take a look at this. In March last year, Trump, along with the US Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, showed an artistic rendering of this 6th-generation aircraft. However, only a small part of the aircraft and the landing gear was visible. The jet is named after Donald Trump, who is the President of the United States, now the 47th President of the United States, hence the name. The F-47 program, in fact, remains mired in secrecy. Just a few details have come to the surface. Let's tell you what is known. This will be the world's first 6th-generation jet. It will be manufactured by Boeing, with its first flight likely in 2028. According to the US Air Force Chief, it is being designed to achieve top speed exceeding Mach 2 while maintaining extreme stealth. Not just that, it can strike targets at least 1,850 kilometers away. It will have capabilities to counter the most sophisticated adversaries. Now, this is intended to replace the F-22 fighter jet, which is a 5th-generation jet, potent for ground attack and electronic warfare. The F-47 will also have a new generation of sensors capable of fusing battlefield data across land, sea, and space domains. And according to reports, a budgetary allocation of $3.45 billion was made towards the F-47 program in fiscal year 2026. And while the aircraft price has not been revealed as of now, the US Air Force has decided to procure at least 185 F-47 jets. That's the number. However, there is one more reason why this aircraft will stand out. Let's play out for you what Donald Trump himself had said.
But this plane flies with drones. It flies with many, many drones, as many as you want. And it's a technology that's new, but it doesn't fly by itself. It flies with many drones, as many as we want. And that's something that no other plane can do.
According to reports, F-47 is expected to feature advanced AI capabilities. It will also have the ability to control a swarm of AI-driven drones from its cockpit. These drones can perform tasks like penetrating high-threat areas, conducting reconnaissance, jamming enemy systems, and acting as decoys. And this will allow the jets to operate at a safe distance from its bases, just to put this simply. That's not all. Some experts have also suggested that this aircraft could potentially be operated remotely. But it's important to note here that the US has long refused to sell its F-22 fighter jets to any other country with an aim to preserve its air superiority over other militaries. In case of the F-47, though, reports indicated that Japan may be allowed to also acquire these jets. But then let's talk about why Israel is interested in purchasing this jet. What's known right now? Although the F-47's weapon arsenal is yet to be disclosed, it might be used to fire air-to-air missiles as well as precision-guided air-to-surface missiles. And according to some experts, fast and precise ballistic missiles launched from an aircraft are more difficult for air defense systems to counter as compared to ground-launched ones. Not just that, by acquiring this aircraft, Israel could potentially target Iran and the Houthis in Yemen from a safe distance. And that's crucial, as they approximately fall within the striking capacity of this jet. Now, Israel, just for context, has already approved a plan to purchase 2 combat squadrons of F-35 and F-15 advanced fighter jets from America. However, it's apparent that the country is looking for more options to shore up its defense capabilities at a time when Iran's military poses a realistic challenge in the region. A quick look now at the global headlines at this hour, taking you around the world in 120 seconds.
India and Japan reaffirm commitment to deepen defense and strategic ties as Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and his Japanese counterpart Shinjiro Koizumi hold high-level talks in New Delhi. The Apex Court of India formed a high-powered 5-member inquiry committee to probe allegations of excessive use of force during the July 20th student protest in Delhi. A deadly landslide at an illegal gold mine about 50 kilometers from the town of Boboa in the Central African Republic killed at least 100 people. Belgium's largest wildfire in a century is now under control, as per authorities, after a 7-day fight in the High Fence Nature Reserve, involving hundreds of firefighters. Palestinians attend a funeral in Gaza City for 50 people whose remains were recovered from war rubble, including 20 children. According to Gaza Civil Defense, there are still 8,000 bodies under the rubble. China holds robot conference in Beijing, drawing hundreds of visitors to watch robots engage in fights and do household chores. More than 300 companies are attending the World Robot Conference. Number of Americans filing claims for unemployment benefit slips, suggesting that the labor market remains stable. Initial claims for state unemployment benefits fell by 6,000 to a seasonally adjusted 206,000 for the week.
It's now telling you about a chilling murder that has shaken Telangana in India days after a school principal there was found murdered inside her residence A shocking twist has emerged, extremely disturbing. Investigators say 2 Class 10 students were allegedly behind the murder. Now, the police theory at this point is chilling to say the least. The 2 accused were allegedly addicted to marijuana and were fond of partying, allegedly. And they were in need of money. One of them also carried a grudge against the victim, the school principal. After being ousted from the school hostel, investigators say the 2 accused allegedly spent days planning the theft. 5 days before the murder, the accused conducted a recce of the victim's house as well. They even studied the CCTV cameras around her residence. And then came August 11, the ill-fated day. The 2 accused allegedly entered the house by jumping over the compound wall, attacked the victim with a knife, but the victim recognized one of them. And when during the attack, he lost the mask that he was wearing, the duo then allegedly stabbed her 27 times. They fled the scene with cash from the victim's house allegedly and 2 mobile phones. Initially, the police formed 5 teams, examined CCTV footage to identify the killers. They questioned students who had been absent after the murder as well. And the investigators noticed something strange. 2 Class 10 boys were suddenly spending money lavishly. The police detained them and they recovered 1.5 lakh rupees and an iPhone from one of them. Forensic examination of the cash reportedly found traces of human blood, which matched to the victim, leading the police to the 2 alleged killers. Japan does not have a nuclear bomb, but it has something that is now drawing a lot of attention from China. A huge stockpile of plutonium. In fact, Beijing says that material could theoretically support thousands of nuclear warheads. And as Donald Trump reshapes America's strategy, pushing traditional allies like South Korea away, fears are growing that Japan could face pressure to rethink the nuclear question. We decode this in our next report.
The world stands on the edge of a new nuclear danger. Decades of fragile deterrence are unraveling at breakneck speed. Power vacuums, shifting alliances, and sudden strategic pivots are pushing rival nations to reconsider their ultimate defense options. A country shaped by nuclear tragedy, a policy built on restraint, a program built for energy, not war. For decades, Japan has held that line, but now a fresh claim from China is pushing a different narrative. China has now put Japan's plutonium stockpile at the center of the debate. Chinese ambassador to Russia, Zhang Hanhui, claims Japan possesses enough plutonium to make about 5,500 nuclear warheads. The Chinese claim focuses on Japanese capability, not intent, but even that is enough to stir strategic concern. But there is an important distinction. Plutonium is not itself a nuclear bomb. It's a radioactive material produced during nuclear reactions. Now, certain forms of plutonium can be used as fuel in reactors, while plutonium-239 can also be used in nuclear weapons if a country chooses to develop the necessary weapons program. Japan's nuclear infrastructure is vast. Before the Fukushima disaster, it operated over 50 reactors. Today, around 33 reactors remain operable, with 15 restarted and more in the pipeline. Tokyo has been clear and consistent. It does not possess, produce, or allow nuclear weapons. Its plutonium is declared, tracked, and monitored under international safeguards, particularly by the IAEA. Japan is the only country ever to have suffered nuclear attacks at Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. Its government continues to uphold those 3 non-nuclear principles. Japan will not possess, manufacture or permit the introduction of nuclear weapons into its territory. Clearly, the Chinese claim hinting at Japan's nuclear intention is without any solid reason. Yet the timing of the claim comes at a time when wars are raging in Russia, Ukraine and West Asia. Amid this, America's security strategy is changing. It is moving away from its traditional allies in Europe and Asia. Trump has ordered a substantial reduction in US-South Korea military exercises, arguing that large drills are costly and unnecessarily provocative towards North Korea. He has also stressed his relationship with Kim Jong-un and wants to revive diplomacy with Pyongyang.
And I know Kim Jong-un very well, and he's going to be fine. As long as we have a smart president, he's going to be fine. If we have a dumb president, then he's probably not going to be so fine.
Are you expecting to meet with him later this year?
Yeah, I will be.
Now, North Korea is a nuclear power. South Korea estimates North Korea possesses between 80 and 120 nuclear warheads. That creates a difficult calculation for Tokyo. Japan faces a nuclear-armed North Korea, a rapidly expanding Chinese military, and a US alliance whose future posture is being debated. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Meanwhile, tensions continue to simmer in the Korean Peninsula. On a day where Pyongyang's military prowess is a matter of discussion, both Japan and South Korea have reported missile launches from North Korea. In fact, South Korea's military said North Korea fired 10 short-range ballistic missiles from an area near the capital. This was a few hours ago. While earlier, Japan's government and Coast Guard also issued a statement suspecting a ballistic missile strike towards the sea. But then, even as the tensions continue to escalate, diplomacy appears to be suffering at this point. North Korea has denied any direct communication between the North Korean leader and the US president, in effect rejecting Trump's claim of recent contact. Pyongyang also dismissed Washington's recent decision to scale down the joint military drills with South Korea, insisting US policy towards the North remains antagonistic. So clearly, the North Korean leadership is not impressed. In fact, Kim's sister said Pyongyang is more focused on the fact that the annual military exercises are still continuing than on the recent decision to reduce the military drill scale. A part of the long statement by Kim Jong-un's sister reads, I'm quoting from it, "Reducing the scale or duration of the drills does not change the provocative and aggressive nature of such military exercises." And the comments come after Trump, remember, stated that he would be meeting the North Korean leader later this year, seeking to revive the bond that he claims to have struck. Trump met the North Korean leader 3 times during his first term, and their last meeting was in 2019. The summits produced few tangible developments as such, as far as the nuclear issue is concerned, and they haven't yet met in Trump's second term. Addressing reporters, meanwhile, at the White House, Trump reaffirmed what he called his friendly relationship with Kim Jong-un and highlighted how it was important that they get along.
I didn't like the fact that we're doing these massive military exercises really against North Korea. It was an exercise against North Korea. When I'm friendly with him, when we have, I don't see anything happening for certainly 2.5 years. It's not going to happen with me, but I don't see anything happening.
Over the last few days, US President Donald Trump's special assistant Natalie Hopp has been at the center of a major political row. In fact, the mystery around her influence is only deepening. It's now come to light that she worked at the White House without security clearance, that too for over a year. But how did that happen? Remember, Harp is perceived to be the ultimate gatekeeper to Donald Trump, has often been spotted with him in the last few months. Not just that, she was also one of the few people to have accompanied Donald Trump on that military jet on the way back from the NATO summit in Turkey. According to American news portal MS Now, Harp repeatedly declined to seek a routine security clearance, normally obtained by White House staffers. The reason for this remains a mystery, though. After concerns were expressed by security officials, the US president himself reportedly intervened, and she finally received the clearance only in the last few months after filling out a form which basically collects and probes the background information, including past residences, the financial history, foreign contacts. Harp also received multiple extensions to complete the necessary paperwork. Why does this matter, you wonder? According to the report, Harp works very closely with Trump, which gives her access to the most sensitive information. In fact, more than other senior White House officials. Not just that, the report claims that there have been subtle but unsuccessful moves to limit her alleged round-the-clock access to Trump. And when asked about the latest revelation, the White House press secretary stressed that Harp has a security clearance like everyone else and is a loyal member of Trump's team. Now, let's just also look at how exactly Harp became acquainted with Trump in the first place. In 2015, the 35-year-old California resident completed her MBA. 5 years later, she joined a news channel reportedly, where she worked as a presenter for 2 years. In 2022, she joined Trump as his personal secretary. After assuming office in January last year, Trump announced her as his special as well as executive assistant. As per the publicly available records, drawing an annual salary of $150,000 US. And their association has also come under the lens, with reports indicating that she wrote a slew of adoring letters to Trump in the past, reportedly, with the US president yet to explicitly clear the air on her influence. The speculation is likely to continue. For millions of people, a sugary drink is part of everyday life at times, whether it's with a meal, during a break, while relaxing. Now, new research suggests that this daily habit may carry a more serious health risk and consequence than previously recognized. A study by researchers from Massachusetts General Hospital and Harvard Medical School involving more than 112,000 people has found a link between daily sugary drink consumption and stomach cancer. According to the study, people who drank at least one sugary soft drink a day had 2.45 times the risk of developing stomach cancer as compared with those who did not drink sugar-sweetened beverages. And among women, the risk was about 3 times higher, while men faced about twice the risk. And the researchers say this is the first study to identify an association between sugary drink consumption and stomach cancer risks. Now, what exactly counts as a sugary drink? The term includes regular soft drinks, colas, sports drinks that basically contain added sugars. Once consumed, these sugars are quickly absorbed into the bloodstream, prompting the body to release insulin and process the extra energy, just to put this simply. And over time, frequent high sugar intake can contribute to weight gain and insulin resistance, and may also affect inflammation and other metabolic processes. The researchers also point to other possible links to stomach cancer, including weight gain, insulin resistance, steroid hormone imbalance, inflammation, DNA damage. And they stress that their findings do not prove that sugary drinks cause cancer. Rather, this was an observational study. Much of the information was self-reported, with some health and family history data being incomplete. They say further studies are required to determine whether sugar itself is driving the increased risk. But for now, the message is that not one soft drink causes cancer, but that an everyday habit could deserve a closer look and more research. Shifting focus now to the Central African Republic. A landslide at an illegal gold mine there has killed at least 100 people. The accident took place at this mining site, which lies about 50 kilometers from the Central African town of Babua. Visuals on your screen now showing a part of the ground at the huge open pit mining site where hundreds of artisanal miners work, break away and bury people in its paths. Survivors were taken to the hospital while the search operations continue. The exact number of people who were in the mine at the time of the cave-in remains unknown. The public prosecutor, in a statement, said the landslide is believed to have been caused by the collapse of several underground tunnels in which miners were operating. He announced a judicial inquiry has been opened. Small-scale artisanal miners are common in different parts of Africa, despite regulations criminalizing them, as unemployment continues to drive people to abandoned or unused mines to earn a living. The mining sites often operate with weak safety standards, leading to repeated incidents. At least 40 people have died in several mining incidents in the Central African Republic this year alone. And before we go on any further, a quick look at what else is lined up for you on the show tonight. A joke about a patriotic song has put one of China's biggest comedy stars under probe. We tell you more. We tell you all about the fastest known star in the Milky Way and what has emerged. Who were the best dressed celebrities of summer 2026? We get you the lowdown. All this and a lot more coming up. A joke about a patriotic song has put one of China's biggest comedy stars under official investigation. A popular comedian, actor, television host is reportedly being investigated after performing a modified version of a well-known Chinese patriotic song. This was during a show in Wuhan in the month of July. This song celebrates Chinese guerrilla fighters who fought the Japanese forces during the second war, the Sino-Japanese War, fought from 1937 to 1945. The conflict remains central, remember, to China's official narrative of national struggle and sacrifice. In 2019, the song was included in a list of 100 songs selected by the Communist Party's Central Committee to mark the 70th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. That's the context. And according to the Chinese media reports and videos posted online, he changed a part of the song's lyrics and added jokes, including lines in which he reportedly appeared to pray to Buddha. And Wuhan officials reportedly say he had secured approval for his performance but had not disclosed that he would alter the lyrics. And the city's Culture and Tourism Bureau has now launched a probe after receiving a complaint. Officials are reportedly examining whether he violated the rules requiring performers to submit their material for approval before taking the stage. Let's just take you back to the 2010s. Chinese media reportedly praised him for attracting younger audiences to the genre. Comedy has reportedly also provided a rare space for indirect criticism of contemporary life in the country, but then that space is narrowing. And as the authorities tighten controls over artistic expression under President Xi Jinping, officials have reportedly pushed artists to align their work with the Communist Party priorities and have tightened scrutiny of material seen as challenging the official political or historical narratives. And in the year 2021, China made insulting or defaming national heroes and martyrs a criminal offense. Now, this comedian is not alone. In 2023, a Chinese comedy company was fined about $2 million after the comedian compared two stray dogs chasing a squirrel to the Chinese military. Civilizing the native. It was a common narrative peddled by colonial powers. However, it seems the colonial hangover continues. The UK is now handing booklets to asylum seekers, preaching appropriate behavior. What exactly is that? To start off with, let's tell you more about this document. The 9-page document telling asylum seekers that women do not need permission for a male relative to work, study, travel, earn their money, and choose their life partner. And in an inherent assumption about their mindset, the booklet basically tells them not to commit domestic abuse and rape, citing the drastic consequences involved. That's not even all. The UK Home Office instructs the asylum seekers to not make kissing noises, sexual comments, or rude gestures at someone, irrespective of whether they are in public spaces, with friends, or alone. On its part, though, the UK Home Office stressed that asylum seekers need to be apprised of the local laws, which may differ from those in their home countries, so that they stay out of trouble. Justifying the booklet, the UK Prime Minister told the media, I'm quoting, "We have a very clear principle. If you break UK law, you will be removed from the country." Now, this also comes in the wake of sexual offence convictions of foreign nationals in the UK, remember, increasing by 62% from 2021 to 2024. And as per the available data, the rate of increase in this 4-year period itself was higher among foreigners than British nationals. The UK's government move did not sit well with the opposition. For instance, the Green Party's Jenny Jones told Sky News, I'm quoting, "This is a dangerous and unnecessary move by the Home Office, which feeds into right-wing tropes and fuels misinformation around migrants and people seeking asylum." On the other hand, the Reform UK leader Farage hit out at the UK Home Office for spending so much money on these booklets instead of not allowing the entry of the illegal immigrants. Also, why has this become such a big talking point? With close to 93,000 people applying for asylum in the UK from April 2025 to March 2026, illegal immigration has become the subject of a heated political debate. And while the UK has every right to expect residents to follow its rules, a key question arises. Is it right to stereotype people in such a way from certain countries? It is high time that governments realized this is not okay. Shifting focus, let's tell you about what's happening deep in the heart of our galaxy. A cosmic race has shattered all known speed limits. Scientists have basically spotted a daredevil star sprinting right on the brink of total destruction. The star was detected with the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope. Let's tell you about the incredible story of the fastest star ever recorded in human history.
Look up at the night sky and the universe seems frozen in time. We know Earth races around the sun, but we imagine the distant stars stand still. But in reality, They do not. Space is a wild, turbulent arena where trillions of fiery giants hurtle through the dark at breathtaking speeds. Nowhere is that motion more extreme than at the center of the Milky Way. Lurking there is Sagittarius, a star, a supermassive black hole packed with the mass of 4 million suns. Its gravitational pull is so violent that nothing escapes its grip, not even light. Astronomers peering into this chaotic core have just uncovered something unprecedented. They call it S301. It is a rogue star caught in a deadly cosmic dance, skimming closer to the monster black hole than anything ever seen before.
Now we have discovered a star which comes 10 times closer to the black hole than our current best star. And 10 times closer. It's hard to imagine a factor 10. Maybe the best way to think about it is imagine your salary goes up by a factor 10 all of a sudden. That's a huge improvement. And that's the same type of improvement we are getting here. Our measurements will be better because we come closer to the black hole. We get closer to the object of interest. And so if we feel better the forces of the black hole, we more precisely can see the gravitational effects. And this is why this star is so wonderful.
As S301 plunges toward the abyss, the black hole slingshots it forward with terrifying force. The star accelerates to a mind-boggling 25,000 kilometers per second. That is more than 8% of the speed of light. At this rate, it could travel from Earth to the Moon in just 15 seconds. This is not just a new speed record, it is a golden scientific breakthrough. By tracking the extreme orbit of S301, researchers can finally measure the spin of our central black hole. It will push Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity to its absolute limits, proving once again that the universe is far wilder than we ever dared to imagine. And we are only slowly starting to realize the little-known wonders of our cosmic neighborhood.
For A-listers in showbiz, the summer of 2026 has been one to remember, to say the least. From blockbusters on the big screen to key fashion outings and moments, the calendar has been packed, and with each outing, a few celebrities managed to stand out for their head-turning looks and styles. In our next report, we are looking at some of the best-dressed celebrities of summer 2026.
It's the year of Anne Hathaway. With multiple releases in tow, Hathaway is also witnessing a glorious period in her personal life with her third pregnancy. The star stepped out in style on numerous occasions, from crop tops to jumpsuits and princessy gowns. Hathaway penned a new chapter in maternity fashion through the promotions of The Odyssey and more. Next on the list is Zendaya. She is ruling the box office with both The Odyssey and Spider-Man: Brand New Day, and hitting headlines for her head-turning looks. But beyond her outfits, Zendaya is also acing the accessory game. From a spider brooch to 3,000 years old earrings, there are plenty of lessons in styling there. For Dua Lipa, the summer 2026 fashion has been all about mixing playful streetwear with elegant picks. She also entered the list of most stylish celebrity brides in Chanel's haute couture dress, entirely hand-embroidered. It featured 480,000 beads and a 2-meter train. At 49, Nicole Kidman is reinventing herself like never before. Her most talked about summer look was a Chanel black dress. Fans defined it as the ultimate revenge dress, and so did the creative director when he pointed out that those were its precise origins. Even though fans await official photos of Taylor Swift's wedding dress, her other standout summer looks blended romantic tailoring, effortless street style, and high-fashion red carpet statements like never before. The summer season also bore witness to unusual and quirky combinations. Charlize Theron nailed the promotional dressing for the Odyssey when she paired satin shorts with a formal blazer. Hailey Bieber proved flip-flops may just be the new shoes, and Jennifer Lopez sparked a controversy with a 17-inch wide brim sun hat at the Wimbledon 2026 men's singles final.
Let's now show you the GRAVITAS image of the day. For this, we are taking you to Bulgaria. A few thousand white-clad followers of the Universal White Brotherhood Society performed rituals during a 3-day meet at the glacial lake. Every year, devotees of the society, which combines a form of Christianity with Indian mysticism, celebrate their divine new year high up in Bulgaria's meadows. Let's now also focus on a big question hanging in the air, the answer to which determines a lot. The U.S. Treasury Secretary has stressed that ramping up economic sanctions against Iran means that America is less likely to return to heavy military operations against the country. So we're asking, does this imply that Trump is seeking a face saver as Iran remains firm on its position? And what lies ahead? A look also at the key major events coming in from around the world over the next 24 hours. BNP's Mirza Fakhrul Islam will be sworn in as the president of Bangladesh on Friday. He defeated the opposition's joint candidate in the country's first contested presidential election in 35 years. The Union Home Minister of India will undertake a 2-day visit to West Bengal's Siliguri from Friday onwards. He will be chairing a high-level border security meeting. India will host the 12th BRICS Communication Ministers meeting in Pune on Friday. The meeting will be chaired by the Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia and will deliberate on strengthening cooperation in information and communication technologies. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of GRAVITAS Tonight. This is me, Molly Gambhir, signing off. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned.
No matter what your day throws at you, stay in the spa state of mind with the Kohler Spa at home.
The Israeli drone is above our heads all the time in Lebanon. Around 169 buildings have been totally reduced to rubble. Every time there's a warning, they just come to this public area where there are around 200 tents and they reside for a while and then they go back to their homes. Some of the Lebanese people enjoying their times and some others forcibly displaced. From the southern suburb of Beirut, I'm Radi Francis for WION The World is One.
No matter what your day throws at you, stay in the spa state of mind with the Kohler Spa at home.
In-depth coverage of global issues broken down into facts, figures, and simple words. Backed with analysis from field experts who truly matter, because we believe in decoding the real picture for you. Week after week, creating the maximum impact. Watch WION Wide Angle at these times on WION. World is One.
what your day throws at you, stay in the spa state of mind with the Kohler Spa at home.
In the last 12 months, India's defense technology has taken some big steps forward. INS Mahendragiri is bringing stealth, sensors and networked systems to the sea. Rustam is giving the forces an unmanned eye that can stay aloft for hours. And INS Malwan is designed to hunt submarines in shallow coastal waters. How do you stop a swarm of drones? That is where Bhargavastra comes in. India's indigenous counter-drone system is designed to detect and deal with unmanned aerial threats, including multiple drones approaching a protected area. But the threat is not always in the sky. Out at sea, India needs warships that can see first. Commissioned this year, Mahendragiri is the 6th Project 17A stealth frigate to join the Indian Navy. Mahendragiri's design is intended to reduce its signature, making it harder for an adversary to detect and track. Developed by the Aeronautical Development Establishment, Rustam is an indigenous family of medium-altitude, long-endurance unmanned aerial vehicles developed for the Indian Armed Forces. Commissioned in July 2026 at Karwar, INS Malwan is the second Mahi-class anti-submarine warfare shallow watercraft to join the Indian Navy. Built by Cochin Shipyard, the vessel has more than 80% indigenous content, a sign of how much of the technology and engineering behind India's naval capability is now being developed and integrated at home.
Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Pulse with me, Diksha Bisla. Let's start with the headlines. Iran's foreign ministry condemns newly announced US economic and trade sanctions, claiming they target ordinary Iranians and amount to economic terrorism and crimes against humanity. A slope collapses at an open-pit mine in Policarpa in Colombia's southwestern Merino department, killing 13 workers and injuring 7, according to the authorities. President Vladimir Putin inspects the open sarcophagus of medieval warrior Prince Dmitry Donskoy, whose remains were recently uncovered during restoration work at Moscow's Cathedral of the Archangel, lying within the Kremlin fortress. Japan's Minister of Defense, Shinjiro Koizumi, who is on an official visit to India, called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister recalled his detailed discussions with Prime Minister Sane Takaichi during her recent visit to India. The The government allows duty-free imports of 10 lakh tons of raw sugar under tariff rate quota till October 31st amid rising prices of the sweetener in local markets. The move is aimed at enhancing domestic availability and capping price rise. Bangladesh's parliament elects a stalwart of the country's new ruling party to the presidency after the post fell vacant last month following the resignation of the former president, who was a close ally of ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. The Indian women's hockey team booked their place in the second round of the World Cup after a goalless draw with England. Both the Indian men's and women's team are through to the last stage. Russian missile salvos pound Kiev, leaving 16 dead and about 40 injured in a devastating blitz. Moscow unleashes a brutal double offensive, hammering major cities while pushing deeper across the front lines. Our next story brings you the latest report from Kiev and from the Ukrainian front.